Hello, people of the world. And of the world, of the world, I of course mean Sweden. And all of our other guests here who are watching. I ended up taking this match. We'll see how it goes. Feeling a little bit burned out at this point, but it's fine. It's only 2 more matches this day. Let's go, Tony Reno. Sorry to say, Tony Reno is buried 6 feet deep right now. Unfortunately. But this is the last lower bracket match of this weekend. It's going to be deciding who moves on, because it's an elimination match, the second lower bracket match of the weekend for both of these players. I'm currently alone, as you can see. We'll see if I get joined by anyone later, but if I don't, you're gonna have to live with me just being here talking into the void. DT3 ban from MrNeasel makes a lot of sense. You know, doesn't want to play speed against Timpower, understandable. And as for Timpower's bans, I'm a little bit unsure. What does he ban? No mod 1. Well, makes sense, I guess. Let's see if he decides to go down the dark path of banning another custom here. It's very possible. I mean, it's not necessarily a super bad ban per se in this match. I, of course, don't encourage it. I love to see our customs getting played. HR1 does decide to ban out the custom again. I mean, realistically, it's a ban that makes sense for his skill set, I guess. He should we ban out unless you're against a reading player, a very, very, very good reading player. Right off the bat, MrNeasel did get a Bancho break, but now he has gotten a real break instead. With that miss there. Accuracy is kind of similar, but Timpower does have the combo here. He's doing a pretty good job of holding on, and as we've seen, the early combo has been pretty important. Timpower has dropped a little bit more ACK. MrNeasel completely misreads that pattern and ends up getting a lot of misses. Drops a bunch of ACK as well. He does find a break though, but a combo reset only really benefits Timpower. Because as long as you're ahead and the accuracy is somewhat similar, you're fine with a combo reset. So now MrNeasel has to make up the deficit in score here. Timpower actually breaks here, and that's kind of huge. Timpower with another break. MrNeasel has the opportunity to get back here. A giant opportunity at that. Look at his combo. He has 400 combo. Timpower is broken twice, but apparently not for real, because that was Bancho breaks. Another break, but that's when it's real, but MrNeasel breaks as well. I've got no idea what's going on anymore. Some crazy scenes unfolding here. It does end up being a fairly narrow victory for Timpower. Had those breaks actually been real and not Bancho breaks, I think it would have been a point for MrNeasel. I realized the warm-up is on as well. That's awesome. Boom. There you go, Timpower, you get a point. Okay. See, I love the tournament client in various ways, and one of the ways I really do love the client is when it just decides not to display the chat, which is awesome, I think. But it's a No Mod 3 pick coming out from MrNeasel. MrNeasel is a pretty good ult player, and definitely this map is definitely something he's comfortable on. Timpower probably also able to play this. I'm tuning out right now. Such a good song. Bum 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 bum. Did you know, guys? I was actually the one who sung this song live together with Ado. Anyhow, I'd say something that's kind of interesting is that the first pick of Timpower didn't exactly become a super convincing pick, and that leads me to think that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't have all that many picks in this match against MrNeasel, with how much of the tapping that has been banned out. Some early breaks all around here. Timpower finding 2 and MrNeasel finding 1. A third one to boot from Timpower. It's a little bit of a tricky map. You gotta be keeping up with the aim control here. Someone who is keeping up pretty well is MrNeasel as we go into the first Ki here. Oh, MrNeasel finds a break on the very spaced pattern right there, and that gives Timpower an opportunity to bring the score back. A slightly slower section here, but it isn't necessarily easy, of course. Score is flipped back to Timpower's side right now. And this gives him, once again, the opportunity to make himself a comfortable lead. But there it goes. Oh, the 500 combo gone. And now it is instead MrNeasel who is in the driver's seat is the way to say it in English. Does hit the more space pattern this time. Oh, but falls on the second one. And we're straight back. Now the score is on the side of Timpower. And I mean, this could go either way now. Still have a third of the map to play. Advantage for Timpower. Ever so slightly. Combo a little bit bigger. Bit of a slow section here, and that's gonna be benefiting Timpower greatly. Anywhere where you can build a lot of combo is good for the one in the lead currently. Oh, but he falls, and MrNeasel hits it all. Holy shit. Look at that. We're back. We're back to flipping the score over. And MrNeasel hits it all. Okay. Timpower finds a couple of more breaks, but look at MrNeasel go. Doesn't fall in the space pattern this time either. Oh, does finally drop on the last space pattern right there. Timpower breaks as well, and at this point, I mean, Timpower has to hold if he wants to take this, but we're moving into the last section of the map here. With another break from Timpower, I mean, there's not a lot of scores separating them, but there's so little map left. And with MrNeasel collecting his government-allocated share of skatteåterbäring combo, he does find a late combo and takes the map. I'd say this didn't look super convincing. Neither of these maps have been super convincing for either player. But nonetheless, both have taken their own picks, and that is good for them, of course. No mod 4 pick from Timpower here. It's a tapping map. Yeah. Okay. Guys. I would have expected this to be the first pick of Timpower. Feels like a map he's more favored on than Hidden or No Mod 6. But I mean, a second pick is still very early on into the match. We'll see if MrNeasel manages to pull out some crazy combos. MrNeasel is looking a little shaky here. It is, of course, his signature move, but very early on into the map. None of the players are broken on the intro this time. We did see that in an earlier match. Here we go into the bursts. MrNeasel falls almost immediately here, whereas Timpower is holding on. MrNeasel another break. Timpower does also fall. Now MrNeasel has quite a lot to make up for here. Does fall on the burst there. So does Timpower, but I mean, it doesn't matter if your opponent breaks if you're not holding combo.
Watch out.
I am unsure as to what MrNeasel's cursor is doing right now. Just look at it. But he's hitting it. I mean, all the credit to him. Oh, does fall. Of course, MrNeasel is behind by quite a lot on the accuracy and also in the combo and in the score. Something insane would have to happen here. We would need to see a drone strike or a absolute meltdown from Timpower or something along those lines for MrNeasel to take this point. Weirder things have happened, but it seems it's not going to be happening this match. Or at least not this map. MrNeasel has managed to build himself a very nice combo here at the end. It's too bad for him that it didn't come earlier, and he has too little map left now to really do much with this combo. But it does pad his score a bit, making it a little bit closer, just a tad. A difference of 132k is pretty good here for Timpower. I mean, this was more convincing than Hidden, or I keep saying Hidden, No Mod 6. So realistically, this would have been a first pick if it were just going by how convincing the picks are. Either way, MrNeasel's pick up next. Alright. Right. Don't remember if I said that. I did. Wow. Would you look at that? MrNeasel picking into Hard Rock 2. Tune incoming.
The house is warm. And it's getting hotter.
your girl. Wind up your body, girl.
I don't quite remember how... I think this got played in one of their matches, but I don't quite remember how good the players were at it. Timpower did get 300k on this earlier, and MrNeasel got 350k last match, so we'll see. Fairly similar scores, but anything could change at any time.
I share that love here with your girl. Wind up your body, girl.
Timpower is the first to break on a relatively calm section compared to a lot of the rest of this map. The lead is going to stay on the side of Timpower though, because look at the act difference right now. MrNeasel behind by a lot, and he has started his signature shake. Does find a break, and two as well. The score never really flipped over substantially, and it is Timpower who has the advantage once again. Does fall though, and I mean the accuracy of course makes it so that MrNeasel has to hold combo to get back here, but right now he's breaking. Timpower trades it out though, and it's an 18k difference going into the second half of the map. Arguably the harder half, of course. Let's see. A big risk with the end here. MrNeasel breaks, and this is horrible for him. One of the big things with the ending here is that you can find yourself a big chain miss that can cut your accuracy down quite a lot, but neither of these players seem to be chain missing right now. MrNeasel finds more misses. Oh, Timpower does find the chain miss, but MrNeasel holds on. I'm not sure if there's enough time left in the map. Timpower would have to break again and maybe even get a chain miss, and MrNeasel of course would have to FC the rest of the map. There certainly is time, but MrNeasel breaks again. I think that's going to be it. Especially, of course, with Timpower holding on in the end here. First breakpoint of the map. Or match. No, this is... Yeah, no, this is the first breakpoint of the match. It's going to Timpower on Hard Rock 2. And it actually just ends up being the accuracy difference that makes the change here. I wanna take you for a ride. Thank you, Renard, for the song. Now, what do you pick here if you're Timpower? Nomad 2, maybe? Yeah. Figures. It's a map Timpower was pretty confident on. That's not to say MrNeasel can't play streams, of course, but I do think Timpower still has the upper hand here. into the map we go. Now I think one really important part of this map is comboing up until the middle, because you have that break there, and if you break before the break, I just said break so many times, you're in for a kind of a bad ride, I think, because you cut your possible score into pieces. And seeing Neasel play Nomad 2 brings me back to Swedish Suiji Cup, where he played, I don't remember what round it was in, but it was the Nomad 2 with the orange background, where he was shaking his ass off but still managed to hold so much combo. Is sacrificing a lot of act to keep his combo right now though. Timpower holding on with 99.8, and both players have comboed up to the break. Second half of the map incoming, and this is where it ramps up. It does get a little bit more stamina intensive with longer streams and basically just a constant barrage of streams. MrNeasel, of course, right now hoping for a chain miss from Timpower or just a big accuracy drop. It would take a lot. Timpower does find the break though, and look at the score fly over to the side of MrNeasel. 50k and counting, 60k, 70k, it's going so fast. 100k. MrNeasel is still holding on. Does surpass the 1000 combo mark. Will he do it? Look at the shake. Look at the shake. Oh, doesn't quite close out the FC. Does find the unfortunate chain miss on the absolute last bit of the last stream. But that doesn't matter. He did almost FC the map. 900k is more than enough to beat Timpower's score here of 600k. And that is the break point taken right back by MrNeasel. Really, you know, getting slapped by Timpower and then slapping him right back. It's now MrNeasel who has the next pick here, and he picks into Hidden 1, which is an interesting one. Timpower did lose to Dank on this map yesterday, but Dank also played kind of well on Hidden 1. So it's up to MrNeasel to show us if he can truly compete on a map like this. We're going straight into it. And in this map, more so than Nomad 2, it is so incredibly important to get an early combo, because this intro is just, while it is a little bit difficult, it is absolutely the easiest section of the map. And if you drop here and you want to get a combo later on in the map, it's going to be so difficult, and Timpower does find the first break. Puts him in a really bad spot if MrNeasel continues to combo through the stream here. Does almost hit it, but breaks on the last circle of the stream. Timpower finds another break though. What is going on? This is by no means necessarily an easy part, but once the sliders start going crazy, you're gonna see just how difficult it's gonna be to hold a combo. And MrNeasel right now does have the combo advantage. Timpower breaks again. And this is pretty good for MrNeasel. He's 30k ahead, does have the slight accuracy advantage, shaking a little bit, does hit the stream. And going into the slider section, you do want to have that advantage with you. Timpower breaks again. MrNeasel almost hits the slider stream, doesn't quite do it, and nor does Timpower. Into the sliders we go. Timpower is struggling to find his footing, but MrNeasel is doing quite alright. Has yet to find a break here. Still holding on, does finally fall, but he's done a lot of work. 60k difference right now, and it is a lot to try to bring back for Timpower. MrNeasel does find some chain misses on that burst right there, but it's not enough to do very much. I mean, Timpower drops a Mac as well. The difference is now 80k. Timpower breaks again, and I think that's definitely gonna seal it. 100k difference right now, and just climbing. MrNeasel has done enough, and is going to take this point as well, tying it up.
I'm not gonna lie.
And I'd say this was a pretty good pick from MrNeasel. It did look a little shaky at times, but the end result is, of course, really good. I mean, beating Tim by 138k here is a very decent margin, and definitely one that is pretty comfortable, considering this is your third pick of the match. So MrNeasel has tied it right back up. 3-3. And it is going to be Timpower who gets to pick the next map. Now, what do you even pick if you're Timpower here? Hidden 2, maybe? But Hidden 2 is crazy difficult. It is Hidden 2. Still do think it's a pick that makes sense. He did win out No Mod 6 against MrNeasel. Timpower should also have the slight edge on the reading here, but it's by no means, of course, a super easy pick. It's a very difficult map. The linear aim in this map is going to be absolutely brutal. But we've got 3 more minutes until we can see who takes this point. Timpower early break. I think any map from now on in the match is going to be really important for both players. You've got to be taking your own picks from this point on, because a break point against you when you're 3-3 in this match is going to be horrifying. MrNeasel did slip and lose his footing there real quick. Does find another miss. Timpower trades it out right away. I suspect this is going to come down to a large amount of small combos. It takes so much to build a large combo in this map. Look at MrNeasel hitting that section though, okay. Does miss. But has managed to narrow the gap just a little bit. Timpower is increasing it again though. Building up to 35k. Does miss again. let's see here. Timpower has quite a good accuracy advantage right now. And that is really what's setting these two players apart. That's a pretty big miss from Timpower though. MrNeasel has to hold a little bit more to bring it back, but it's so incredibly hard to hold in these sections. Gonna go into linear aim very soon, and he does miss. 24k separating them when we get into this really scary linear aim section. Go, both hit the square. Timpower, the first one to fall here. How is MrNeasel holding on? Let's see, do they hit the corner jumps? MrNeasel barely misses out, and so does Timpower, but it's so equal. It's going to be so close. Any little break is going to do so much now, and that break from Timpower has, as you can see, the score is shifting very fast now. We're in the very last parts of the map now. None of them know how close it is right now, but Timpower is just chain breaking all over the place. MrNeasel is holding combo, and the score has grown to 20k, 15k. Oh, the ending bits! It does end up being MrNeasel who takes a breakpoint from Timpower. I mean, that combo at the end really did so much for MrNeasel. Timpower struggling to kind of find his footing for the last parts of the map, and man, that did hurt him. And if I'm Timpower now, I'm getting a little bit nervous because you just lost a breakpoint, which is oh so uncomfortable at this point in the match. Hard Rock 3 pick from MrNeasel. This is an interesting one. I can't honestly quite tell who's favored on this map. This is, of course, a fairly rhythmically complex map, and I'm actually not sure who places better. I think it's very possible both players are going to be alright on this map, but on this map, accuracy is very important. And you can definitely cheese a fair few patterns in this map, but I mean, you're gonna be punished for it very hardly. Hardly, that's not the word. You're gonna be punished either way. Timpower early break, but MrNeasel, look at him. Pretty early act deficit here. Hack has been straightened out pretty even, but MrNeasel still has the combo. Timpower breaks again. Both players making it through these kind of really scary sections. It almost looks like MrNeasel is double tapping. I don't think he is. He's kind of just mashing a little bit through it. But the accuracies on these players. It is just MrNeasel's combo right now that's doing so much work. He's still holding on to the FC, and right as I said, he does break though. Timpower trades it out, and now, halfway into the map, Timpower has to double his score if he wants to catch up to MrNeasel. And that essentially means, when the accuracies are this low, that you have to combo as much as MrNeasel just did, which was around 400. 150 is a very good start though, and with MrNeasel breaking it, Timpower breaks on nothing though. Into the kind of swingy part we go. And I mean, MrNeasel has done enough. Just that really big opening combo he got pulled him way over the finish line on this map. confidently beating Timpower, and I say confidently when looking at the score, but at times it did look like he was going to drop that combo very prematurely. As you can see here, double C rank, but it is the combo who is king. And now, this is Timpower's pick, and at this point, MrNeasel has 2 chances to close it out before going to tiebreaker. MrNeasel, of course, in a very good spot now because, I mean, Timpower has to climb up a hill that's kind of steep. He's gonna have to win 3 maps in a row to win this match, and that's always a tall ask or a tall task in any match. And if I'm MrNeasel here, I'm looking at stuff like maybe DT4, honestly. Or Hidden 3, maybe, but it's not exactly a MrNeasel map, so to speak. It is Timpower's pick, though, and it's DT2, which is banned, so that's interesting. DT1. Trying to pick the banned map? No, no, no. It is going to be DT1, and this is definitely still a map I would give the edge to Timpower on. But as we've seen, I mean, breakpoints have happened in this match. If MrNeasel does take this map, it's going to be due to combo, most likely. I think Timpower is getting more than comfortable enough to just act this without problem. But MrNeasel, as we just saw on Hard Rock 3, does, or is rather, able to combo stuff without necessarily acting it. So who knows? Remains to be seen. Starting off here, we're pretty similar. Only 200 combo in, though. Timpower does find that very, very, very early. Combo break does find another break. It's still very early on into the map, but now he's around 200 combo behind and MrNeasel trades it out. Timpower breaks again. This is uncharacteristic of Timpower, I think. I think he should be... I mean, judging by his performance on this map, last match, he can probably do better than this. And I'm sure he's not too happy about the breaks he has found so far. Accuracy is pretty much equal right now. MrNeasel does have a habit of accidentally drawing on the board with the smoke, but does find another break. And at this point, it's a little bit scary for him. Timpower breaks as well, and MrNeasel trades it out right away. Oh, it's gonna be so close. Halfway through the map, they're gonna see the leaderboard, they're gonna see that they're so close to each other, and they're gonna know that if they wanna take this, they're gonna have to hold a fair bit of combo. Oh, MrNeasel the first one to fall though, and that's gonna be big, really big, as Timpower builds up. MrNeasel with another break, and they're gonna see it again here. So many breaks in this match. Or in this map. Timpower almost slides off that burst, but does manage to hold. And now the score starts running away from him. Timpower does find a break, and it is a fairly big break, but I think it's too little too late. Score does ramp up pretty quickly near the ending section, so if Timpower finds like a chain miss or anything, it's maybe possible, but it's It's not likely. Yeah, there's not enough map. It would have had to been a slightly earlier break from Timpower. Difference of 57k, not the most comfortable. But I mean, for being a map this late into the pool, it's pretty alright. Okay, last pick of the match. This is where it's decided. And it is going to be MrNeasel who decides where we're going. We're going to be deciding if MrNeasel takes this match or if we're going to tiebreaker. And his options are DT4, Hidden 3, and no mod, never mind, no mod 5. I'd say no mod 5 is looking very scary, considering its precision, and MrNeasel is a little bit shaky. DT4, not a simple map by any means. It's very difficult. And Hidden 3 is going to be the pick that MrNeasel chooses. And this map is fairly consistent in its difficulty throughout, so it does end up being a consistency test in some regards. Last time this was played was in MrNeasel's match, where he got 420k. Timpower has not played this map in his previous match, so we're in the dark as to how he's gonna do on this. Timpower not really feeling like playing today, it seems. Okay. I wonder if this is Bancho, if this is some connection issues on the side of either of these players. It seems MrNeasel has reacted too. Something has happened. We're not sure what. MrNeasel did seem to launch into the map, but the map hasn't started, it seems. And I suspect Timpower hasn't made it in either, no. See, it's a little bit worrying that MrNeasel's cookie there isn't playing the song. We'll see, of course. Just gonna switch screens here. What's going on now? Why is Timpower out of the lobby, man? Ah! Okay, we've lost Timpower. Apparently going to reinstall his game over a Bancho issue, which is an interesting decision to make. That is interesting. Oh, we're starting again. But Timpower isn't making it in. Oh, reinstall. Okay, my bad. This is interesting. Bit unsure as to what's happening at this point. Let's see if the players react. I will attempt to restart the client if that's the problem, but I doubt it. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna go dark here for a second. I'm gonna open it again. It's gonna be incredibly loud. Brace yourselves, guys. Turn down the volume. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt your ears. Watch out, watch out. Here it comes. Ah! There we go. Yeah, it seems it wasn't my fault. They're not getting into the map. This is a bit anticlimactic. Interesting. What a bummer. Timpower has Bit of a momentum shifter. I sure hope Timpower is in, but this time MrNeasel isn't in. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. Oh, they're both in. Let's go. Finally. Holy shit. We're back to the big cursor. I'm really sorry about that, but I had to restart the client just to check if that was the issue. We're going back into it. It is unfortunate that the momentum got ruined so hard here, but we're back into it. Hopefully these players haven't lost their warm-up or anything, as some people would be worried of. MrNeasel did drop a little bit of early accuracy, Timpower holding on very nicely. MrNeasel does find a miss here though. Timpower trades it out right away and does drop a fair bit of accuracy with it. It is the accuracy that's doing most of the work right now, but that break from Timpower is kind of big. Into the Ki, Timpower is going to enter the Ki out without any combo, and MrNeasel has some combo to build off of it. Certainly not an easy part necessarily, but he's holding on nicely right now. Oh, does find a break there on just like finger control and aim control. Another really big break, and that's a lot of misses. Timpower now with a really big advantage. Timpower has 45k. He's 45k ahead, 50k. If you're MrNeasel, you're hoping for a break right about now because you need it, and there it is. Right as you start hoping for it, it comes, and MrNeasel now has the chance to bring this back, but he has to do a bit more, just has to hold a bit more combo to bring it back, and let's see if he's able to. Score gap is closing. It is going to be a close one. Timpower falls again though, and this is big for MrNeasel. Timpower struggling to find his footing at all. And the score just goes flying away. MrNeasel has gathered himself a big combo right now. Does break, but Timpower has broken as well, and there's no combo to talk about on the board. The accuracy is virtually tied up, and it's looking like MrNeasel has done enough. Last sections of the map here. A break needs to come right now from MrNeasel if Timpower wants to have any chance of taking this map. It doesn't come, and now we go into the slowest section here, and MrNeasel has done enough. Just closing out the ending here. Oh, Timpower seemed to either have rage quit the map or Bond show happen. No, it's a rage quit. Well, this is, yep. Ow. Okay, Timpower, stop trolling. What happened now was that the tournament client relaunched at full volume. Thank you, Timpower, for leaving early. Anyhow. It is going to be a victory for MrNeasel. Honestly, a pretty deserved one. He does show up in this match very well and does take Timpower down 6-4. Unfortunate that we had a small little technical issue there. But it is MrNeasel who wins. And MrNeasel, since this is an elimination match, is going to be knocking out Timpower from the loser's bracket. MrNeasel gets to fight another day, another week in the winner's bracket, and the loser's bracket. Jesus Christ, they didn't get promoted to the winner's bracket or anything. If we look at the bracket here, we can see MrNeasel is facing the loser of Trumpetino versus Mellowem. He has a bit of a hard match in front of him, but does make it to finals nonetheless. That's going to be all for us right now. We are going to be back at 19:30 UTC for the next match, which is going to be Sever versus Nexus. I hope you all stay safe until then, and I hope you've enjoyed the matches so far, because they have been very close, most of them. Stay safe, wash your hands, do all of that good stuff, and we'll see you later. Have a good one.